Hello and welcome to a new video. I'm Vanguard and today, we'll be going through my top 20 upcoming games of E3 2018. With E3 just a week away, I thought I'd make this list of all the possible and confirmed games we are most excited to see at the biggest gaming event of the year. These will be in no particular order, however just looking at the huge upcoming lineup of titles to come, I believe this year will be a special one. But without further ado, let's get right into it. First up, we have the Avengers Project. This was announced early 2017 by Square Enix and Marvel Entertainment, a surprising partnership that gave rise to multiple new games, including a title based on the Avengers. It is developed by Crystal Dynamics, who worked on the amazing reboot Tomb Raider series, which definitely gives promise to the project. This new adventure takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, featuring star characters such as Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and more, and will tell a completely original story. Hopefully we can get news on this particular game. Anthem is another ambitious upcoming multiplayer action role-playing video game being developed by BioWare and to be published by Electronic Arts. At E3 of last year during Microsoft's presentation, this was one of the biggest reveals and it looked absolutely stunning. Just from what was shown, it seemed like an awesome fun concept. However, my main concerns come from the people behind this title and just what the end product might end up being. Either way, I'll be hoping for the best. The game was initially set to release in 2018 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but the date has since been moved to early 2019.
Your Javelin exosuit with gear that brings devastating power to combat.
Next up is Days Gone. Days Gone is an open-world post-apocalyptic action survival video game played in a third-person perspective. The game takes place 2 years after a global pandemic occurred, which killed almost all of humanity and transformed millions of others into freakers, who are mindless zombie-like creatures. It is being developed by Ben Studio and to be published by Sony Interactive Entertainment for the PlayStation 4. Battlefield 5 was just recently announced by EA. This will be a part of the popular long-running first-person shooter franchise that will be set this time around in World War II, marking the 16th installment in the series, developed and published by EA. After the major controversies in regards to Star Wars Battlefront 2 last year, I imagine and hope that this will be the opportunity to mend their reputation in the eyes of the gaming industry. It is scheduled to be released worldwide for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Windows on the 19th of October this year. Next up we have Fallout 76, an upcoming game in the massively popular Fallout series, being the 9th entry in the franchise overall. It is developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks for PC, PS4 and Xbox One, with pre-orders already available despite not knowing anything about it. What we presume is this title will be set in 2102, based on the date that was found in the trailer, and the game will involve Vault 76, which was one of the 17 vaults that was meant to be opened in 2097. Metroid Prime 4 is an upcoming first-person adventure video game currently in development for the Nintendo Switch. It was first announced on June 13, 2017 during Nintendo Spotlight at E3. It will be the fourth main entry in the Prime series after nearly 10 years since the release of its predecessor, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. It will mark the first game in the series not to be developed by Retro Studios. Upon announcement, the reception of the game was astounding, with a mix of huge surprise and excitement. This certainly is one of the most hyped titles to come for the Switch, and we really hope to see more of it this year. Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch is probably the biggest title to come for the console as of right now. This is most likely a new game as opposed to the remaster of the Wii U version, which has gotten millions of people very excited. This will be a part of the iconic Super Smash Bros. Series of different crossovers published by Nintendo that primarily features iconic characters from different franchises established on its system, bringing them all together reimagined into a fighting game. I think it's safe to say that Nintendo will have a strong presentation to come, as they have confirmed that this will be their main focus, and it will be awesome to see just who will be featured in this title. Next up we have Kingdom Hearts 3. This is an upcoming RPG video game developed by Square Enix and is the 12th installment in the entire series and the final chapter in the Darksiders saga. This game as always features a wide cast of different Disney characters as well as worlds, where you play as Sora with a Keyblade to fight against the dark forces of Xehanort. It was announced way back in 2013 and since then, fans have been dying for the game. It is scheduled for a release on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One sometime hopefully in 2018. Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably one of the most anticipated games as of right now. This will be the sequel to the 2010 game. It will be an open-world action-adventure video game played in a third-person perspective, featuring single-player and online multiplayer components. The first game was met with huge success and was critically acclaimed by reviewers, with praise directed at the game's visuals, dynamically generated music, voice acting, gameplay and story. This sequel is being developed by Rockstar and will hopefully bring another excellent experience, set to be released on PS4 and Xbox One in 2018. Metro Exodus is an upcoming first-person shooter video game developed by Ukrainian Studios 4A Games and published by Deep Silver. It will be the third installment in Metro, based on a novel series, taking place after Last Light in 2033. It is set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland where players must cope with the new hazards and engage in combat against mutated creatures, as well as hostile humans. The game was announced at E3 of last year and is set to release on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in third quarter of 2018.
Why do you keep going up there? What are you hoping to find? Each time you go out there, I wonder if you'll ever return. The Metro is all we have left. And I don't want to die here alone.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider is an upcoming action-adventure video game developed by Eidos Montreal in conjunction with Crystal Dynamics and published by Square Enix. It is the third entry of the successful reboot series, following 2015's Rise of the Tomb Raider. Just from what we've seen from the cinematic trailers, screenshots and artworks, it looks to be a splendid title. The game is set to be released on 14th of September 2018 for Microsoft Windows, PS4 and Xbox One.
So far.
Next up we have Death Stranding. Death Stranding is an upcoming open-world action video game developed by Kojima Production and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment exclusively for the PlayStation 4. The release date is currently unknown. The game will feature famous actors such as Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen, who will serve as the protagonist and antagonist. After Kojima, the director, left Konami Games due to a fallout or disagreement, this will be his first project that he'll be working on, and many fans of the once legendary Metal Gear series are extremely excited to see what seems to be one of the most unique experiences to come for video games. Ghost of Tsushima is an upcoming third-person open-world stealth video game being developed by Sucker Punch Production exclusively for the PlayStation 4. As some of you may know, the development team have been laying low as of the last few years, after the release of Infamous The Second Son, so it was fantastic to see the reveal of this unique game last year. It takes place in year 1274 on an island of Tsushima in Japan. Samurai warriors are legendary defenders of Japan in this time until the Mongol invades onto the island. The game will be one of the 4 main focuses of Sony's presentation this year, so I think it's safe to say gameplay will be revealed, which I'm sure many of us are really looking forward to.
I learned. I know your language, your traditions, your beliefs, which villages to tame and which to burn. So I'll ask you once again, Samurai, do you surrender?
Beyond Good and Evil 2 is an upcoming action-adventure third-person video game developed and published by Ubisoft. It is the prequel to the 2003's Beyond Good and Evil, which was critically highly praised, but at the same time was a commercial failure. The history of the game has been filled with mysteries and rumours for years, and was considered to have been in development hell. It was only officially announced at E3 of last year, which was a massive surprise for the gaming community and fans alike. At this very moment, there's no release window or target platform as of right now, but this most definitely is a title to look forward to. Rage 2 is an upcoming first-person shooter for the PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, developed by ID Software and Avalanche Studios, and published by Bethesda Softworks. It is a sequel to the 2011's post-apocalyptic FPS Rage, which was compared to movies such as Mad Max 2 and video games such as Fallout and Borderlands. A sequel was planned by the developers after the game's release right after, although the project was cancelled in 2012 in favour of focusing on Doom. Future development of a sequel was considered a possibility, so it's certainly great to see the project has been revived and continued, though for quite a few of us it really was an unexpected surprise. Final Fantasy VII Remake is an upcoming action RPG developed and published by Square Enix for the PS4. It is the remake to the 1997 PlayStation game that was released over 20 years ago. The new game will be a retelling of the original story following mercenary Cloud Strife. It is developed on the Unreal Engine 4. According to Tetsuya Nomura, they plan to make the game that will last several more decades for the future generation, as 2 decades have passed since the original release. This will be releasing as a multi-part series, and each one will have a length of a full game. Maybe finally we can get episode 1 in the near future. It will depend on how much they have to show, hopefully at E3.
You're doing this for the planet, same as us.
Not interested.
When? Get back here!
The Last of Us Part 2 is the sequel to the universal acclaimed title that was released way back in 2013 with over 240 Game of the Year awards. This is an upcoming action-adventure survival horror video game developed by Naughty Dogs and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment for the PlayStation 4 console. As of right now, this is among one of the most anticipated games that the whole community are looking forward to for its overall quality and experience it will hopefully offer. It will certainly be intriguing to see what has happened since the last entry and the story that Ellie will now tell. Both the plot and especially the gameplay are complete mysteries, so we hope there will be a lot to show off at E3 of 2018. Next up we have Darksiders 3. This is an upcoming action-adventure video game being developed by Gunfire Games and published by THQ Nordic. It is a sequel to Darksiders 2, which was released way back in 2012 and is the third entry in the series. The game takes place parallel to the events of the previous game, in what is described as a war-torn planet Earth. It follows the protagonist Fury, rider of the Black Horse, in her quest to destroy the 7 deadly sins. This game is scheduled to release in 2018 for Microsoft Windows, PS4 and Xbox One. Second last on this list we have Spider-Man, an alchemy action-adventure video game based on the popular Marvel Comics superhero, developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment for the PlayStation 4. The game will tell a new story about Spider-Man that's not tied to the existing comics, video games or films. It will cover both Peter Parker and Spider-Man aspects of his character, and will feature an older, more experienced Spider-Man in general. As someone who's played Spider-Man 2 way back on the PlayStation 2, the element I'm most excited about is the open world and the traversal of New York City as Spider-Man himself, which I found was exhilarating even back on the PlayStation 2. I really hope they nailed this aspect specifically, alongside with the combat to create a truly fun title. The game is scheduled to be released worldwide on September 7, 2018.
Is that a Higgs field? That's actually really cool. Fisk, your men are safe. Your turn. Who runs the demons?
Finally, last but certainly not least is Cyberpunk 2077, an upcoming futuristic role-playing video game developed by CD Projekt Red and published by CD Projekt. It is set in an open-world metropolis called Night City. As of right now, we barely know anything about the game since its announcement way back in 2012. The development team have devoted a much larger scale of a team than their previous game, The Witcher 3, which probably makes this one of the most ambitious games as of recent memory. I can't wait to see if they'll show off anything, as it's been quite some time since we've gotten any footage since the teaser trailer of 2013. Well, that about wraps up this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.